all heard about GLP-1 drugs for weight loss. Your body makes GLP-1 naturally. It's a hormone. You eat and then you get full, and that's what GLP-1 does. But some of us are under responders. Are you? You would know because you don't get satisfied that easily, and it's very easy for you to overeat, and you have cravings, and of course you have trouble losing weight. So is the drug right for you? That's what we have to look at, because the GLP-1 drugs do a lot of good things, but then there's some issues. There must be, because 65% of people by year one aren't taking it anymore. 72% by year two. So very few people hang in there. I am going to talk to you about a product that has 90% stability after year one, and it's not an injection, and it's much more affordable, but we'll get there. So GLP-1, as I said, is a hormone your body makes, and it tells you you're satisfied and you've had enough to eat. We've all gotten to that point, but are you getting to that point too late, and you're gaining weight and not being able to maintain the weight that you want? So GLP-1, the natural GLP-1, regardless of whether you're injecting it or your body's making it, is it stimulates insulin, so it keeps your blood sugar stable, so you're not going to move toward type 2 diabetes. Also, with keeping the blood sugar stable, you're much less likely to get fatty liver or fat in the abdominal area that infiltrates into the liver, which is a serious condition. It slows your gastric emptying. So as I said, you're satisfied longer. You know, you feel full, you have that nice happy tummy feeling of like, I've eaten enough, I don't need any more. And it supports actually your gut barrier function, so that you don't tend toward a leaky gut. So those are all the beautiful things that GLP-1 does. It also modulates inflammation, and inflammation is a big one when it comes to our overall health, not moving us toward diseases like diabetes, heart disease, cancer, autoimmune disease, dementia, that whole list of diseases that's really causing us to be so ill in this country. At its root has inflammation. Something that's naturally anti-inflammatory is great. Now, let's put an under-responder to the side for a moment. What are some things you can do naturally to support your GLP-1 production? You can increase the soluble fiber in your diet, eating polyphenols found in dark berries, also monounsaturated fats like olive oil and avocado oil, getting greens in your diet, intermittent fasting. So this is, I like to do it while people are asleep, but 12 to 14 hours, not beyond 14 hours. There's a lot of strong research to support that your gallbladder and your heart really don't do well when you go beyond the 14-hour mark. So again, that's pretty easy to achieve during sleep, and maybe just postponing the breakfast a little bit. And then exercise. You know, we can't say enough good things about exercise, but resistance training is very important to naturally raise those GLP-1 levels. And then assessing your gut microbiome, so the 60 to 100 trillion organisms in your colon, are they imbalanced? Do you have too many bad guys versus good guys? Then there's protocols to kind of rebalance that. So that's going to help with maintaining your good, strong GLP-1 levels. Okay, one of the things that happen on the a few things on the negative side is people get nauseous, they can get really constipated, because that slowing down of the gastric emptying, meaning things are staying in your stomach longer. If it's too slow, then you can get constipated, and that's definitely not going to help with weight loss, but it's also going to make you toxic and disrupt your microbiome. So that's a big negative. So when you're on these drugs, you really have to mind your bowel movements and make sure you're getting good motility. Now, the fiber is going to help, that I mentioned, as well as movement, getting exercise, certainly hydrating. So those are things you can do, but you have to be mindful of that. The other thing is they really do make you not want to eat very much, which you might, as somebody who craves food, say, sounds great to me. And that is the good side. But the negative side is because food you know, isn't that interesting? You can easily choose the wrong things to eat. You can eat so little that you lose weight too quickly. And I know if you have a lot to lose, that sounds delicious, but the point is if you're losing weight too quickly, then your energy goes down, you don't want to exercise, and now you're losing muscle plus fat. And we don't want that. We want you to lose it slow enough that you still have good energy and you can push yourself to exercise to maintain your muscle. You don't want to lose a lot of muscle, because then when you inevitably stop these drugs, you have very little muscle, and it's going to be very easy for you to gain the weight back, which is the other liability of these drugs. So you have to be very mindful of, you know, what did I eat today, and how, you know, did I get enough protein and good fats and fruits and vegetables, and really look at your meals. And it's not forcing yourself to eat, certainly, but everything that goes into your mouth has to be very well thought out, and not just, oh, this is great, I can just eat some Oreos and I'm fine, you know, and look at the scale. And, you know, if you're focusing in not the complete, you know, wrong direction, because, you know, we do want to see the scale go down, but not too quickly. Those are the liabilities. Okay, so also it can be very helpful for people when they're on these drugs and they're eating sensibly to see the size of meals. It's like, okay, this is what's achieving this weight loss for me. I'm seeing the size of this meal and how much of, you know, this piece of salmon I can eat. And I used to eat, you know, 6 ounces, and now I can only eat about, you know, if I eat three and a half ounces, I'm good. I feel satisfied, and the, you know, the weight is coming off. And so you have to sort of recalibrate the size of meals. That's very important. So let me finish off with the tease I made about this product that we've been playing with here at the clinic, but it's got 14 years of research. It comes out of New Zealand. It's called CaloCurb, like calorie, curbing your calories. So great name. It's a capsule. It's made from hops, a hops extract, but it is gluten-free if you're somebody who's gluten-free. The active ingredient is amaracate. But here's the thing, is what's been proven, and so there's been a lot of research, 14 years of research, what it does is it raises your GLP level 600%. So if you're an under-responder like myself, this is raising it 6 times. And what's really cool is that after a year, 90% of people who are taking it are still taking it. That's a far cry from the 65 and 72% that stop, right? So very good retention. It's affordable. You're not injecting. It's a very, very small capsule. Literally anybody could swallow it. And what they found is it reduces hunger by 30%, cravings by 40%, and calorie intake is reduced anywhere from 12 to 18%. So that's just the research of it all. And the only caveat that the company gave out that I saw was people with IBD, irritable bowel disease. It's not recommended for them. And so that was that. I have no affiliation with this company, but I do have some concerns about the GLP-1 drugs. Here at the clinic, we do very, very small dosages of the GLP-1s, and it's tolerated much better. But it's still a cost, it's still an injection. It does have, the GLP-1 drugs, as I mentioned, have a lot of anti-inflammatory benefits and keeping insulin at a good level. And the CaloCurb is very specifically for just raising GLP-1 levels, which is great, of course, and you get the satiety and you just don't want to eat as much and the cravings go down. So that's very specifically what it does. So I wanted you to have this information. I hope you found it informative. And if you did, consider giving us a thumbs up for the video, as well as subscribing. We're trying to increase our subscribers so that more people can see this information and have options and know what their options are for a more natural approach to their health. So give me a comment. I love answering all my comments, and we'll talk soon.